this situation that I'm about to explain will help somebody who's going through or has been through and is now on the other side of or is currently going through a situation similar to this, to give you some confirmation that things we're told aren't real in reality actually are, and to have faith and trust in God and yourself with what you're going through. Over the past 4 years now, I have been through some practically indescribable events. If you look at the photos on my recent posts here, you'll see some of the evidence of that. In particular, the goblins flying outside of my window. There is literal dark stuff out there that works against us. And it shows up in all kinds of ways. And I want to build this around Ephesians 6:12. Our battle is not against flesh and blood. It's not against people, even though people do make their own decisions and they are responsible for those decisions. A lot of the times they're unconscious about why they're making the decisions that they are. There's a lot of heavy demonic influence, and it seems very present in the world today, that causes people to do things that, looking back, even they don't understand. But it's when somebody just hates you for no reason, or if they're a group of people that just hate you for no reason and you can't figure it out, and maybe you've got a good heart and a kind soul, or maybe you've done something and you've made amends, but that hatred and vile and vitriol and evil eye continues on. And if your life goes through struggles that you just can't understand or put your finger on why exactly it's happening, this sort of thing may be the cause. And about 4 years ago, I went through a really horrific breakup. And that breakup was a catalyst for a lot of change in my life. It was caused by someone who hated herself, but she projected that as hating me, and has for about 13, 14 years now. Over the course of that 14 years, this person has been involved in literally the breakup of literally every romantic relationship I've had since her. And it's had to do with phone hacking, and I'm going to talk about that, and direct contact with my romantic partners, girlfriends over the years, because of this unhealed thing in an ex-romantic partner from very long ago. Now, this has to do with dark spirits, Jezebel spirit in particular in this person, and a lot of dark entities that have been introduced and carried the weight by this person, or the weight of this heaviness, this generational burden being carried by this person because of witchcraft in her family, and all of the things that all of our family lines carry. Drug addiction, alcohol abuse, sex addiction, sex abuse, sexual abuse, all of the stuff that is just makes my skin crawl, and makes me angry that it still happens in our world today. But this involving trafficking and stuff like that, and on and on and on, things of that nature, addictions and all of that. And generational curses are a real thing. And we all have some unhealed wound and unhealed trauma, several, in our family lines. And a lot of the times those fall on the children. And they can show up in the lives of the kiddos, now adults, and on it goes, in so many different ways, but usually as they'll express as addictions or just chaos in life, choosing wrong friends, making wrong decisions all the time, chasing after the wrong things, and projection onto other people, always blaming somebody else for whatever's gone wrong in their life, or just hating somebody and getting groups of people to gang up on you if I'm talking to you. And it's been me in this instance. And some of us go through life bearing the weight and the burden of others' projections and others' traumas and others' hurts. And we don't say anything about it. And we deal with it in our own ways. And if you have people in your life that are always asking for your attention, for your energy, for your time, but never returning anything, always taking, that too is a spirit within that person that is part of that unhealed trauma, part of that wounding. Stop pouring into them. You have that energy, that God-given spirit gift, that spark, that unconditional love in you. Yes, to help others with, if you feel called. But if you have someone or someones in your life that are constantly tugging on you, constantly pulling on you, constantly demanding things from you, and you have no reciprocity, there's no reciprocal return of any kind, or completely disproportionate. It's my advice, and you have to pray and ask for what you should do, but just to cut those people off, because you empower them to continue doing what they've been doing that allows for chaos in their life and doesn't create a boundary for you so that you retain your energy and your peace and your sanity, and so that they have to hopefully not go find somebody else to pull energy off of, but heal. About 4 years ago, after this horrific breakup, that was initially because of this significant romantic, person in my life. I don't want to be too specific. Some of you who know me might know, but through phone hacking and through just a ton of lies, caused this breakup with somebody I was going to marry at the time in my life. And one thing led to another, and this thing just grew and grew and grew, because people that I called friends along the way here in life, God created a situation to show me that not everybody that we call friends are your true friends. And there are situations and people in life that you absolutely need to put up boundaries against, for your own peace, for your own protection, and for your own personal growth. And so that those people in your life that aren't for you will realize that they can't continue to take from you in all of the ways. And if this is for you, you know what I'm talking about. In all of the ways that people will take from you unchecked. This whole situation led me to jail in another county for 7 months. It led to me being arrested 3 times in 2 weeks for a charge of sending text messages, and not even angry ones. I was told and shown a ton of lies about the person that I had broken up with, or that had broken up with me unexpectedly, that was catalyzed by significant horrendous lies and phone hacking and all the rest from this ex-romantic partner. Who, because of her just unhealed trauma, has been hanging around my life forever. That led to a group of people targeting me through phone hacking. These were ex-friends that I had here in Austin that God has now allowed me to, has forced me to separate from. But this has led to phone hacking. It's led to me being homeless. It's led to, while being homeless, being followed, being literally harassed, being stalked, being stolen from while homeless, cyberbullying, all the rest. And there was so, and witchcraft. I mean, the ghost and the goblins picture, just a couple of posts after this one, or before this one, is just a minor, just a very, very small thing of the daily experiences like that I had. Now, some very amazing angelic help stepped in before this thing even began for me, because they knew, I just didn't know, and protected me from a situation that was, I found out later, a murder for hire situation. I saw the result of this group that had approached me, and I had someone with me. I was training somebody at the time. And this person had been from the rough streets of Chicago. He's seen, murders, and he's heard gunfire every day, and he knows when something really bad's about to go down. And when he saw this situation with me, I said, I just said, what was that? And he said, something bad was about to happen, and something happened that caused it to stop. Without going too deep into the story, there was something that appeared over my shoulder that stopped this gang of people that was hired to kill me as a result of this situation with this group that cascaded from a breakup, began by a very jealous ex-partner from long ago. This is an extreme situation, and it's still going on for me. I pulled up to a stoplight at 3, and I wake up about 3 in the morning, and sometimes I get coffee, and then I'll go for a walk, or I'll go to the gym. I was at the stoplight at Burnet Road 183 here in Austin, and somebody pulled up next to me, honked his horn. He had come out of Slick Willie's pool hall at about 3 a.m. He was leaving the bar. He was drunk. And I was just waking up going to get coffee at 7-Eleven. Honking, pointing. And I finally looked over at him, because I normally just don't pay attention to these things, because negative stuff like this still happens from this group. And he said, hey, big dog, in this high squeaky voice, and pointing at me, he said, you've got porn on your phone. Well, this guy is a member of a sex group, and this guy is a member of this group that has sex parties, that's involved in trafficking of all kinds, even the worst kind that makes my skin crawl, that makes me want to, I never would, but protect the little ones that are harmed by this sort of trafficking. This group is involved in extortion and drugs and money laundering and all types of things. I'm just going to say that. And there are people in this group that if they were exposed, you would be shocked. I was. The fact that this random person that I don't know, except for by what he said and by the harassment I knew he was connected to, he sure knew me. And he said, and what he said about me having porn on my phone, there was somebody that I cared about deeply who got involved in their sex parties and the whole prostitution ring and pimps and all of that. And I was very worried about her. So I posted a video about this. I spent about a month online just probably watching porn basically for a month straight. And if I wasn't trying to figure things out and get myself out of danger, I was trying to find her online by looking up through porn websites. And it was one heck of an education. And at the time, I absolutely had porn on my phone because I was downloading and saving videos from people that I knew were involved. So if I had to have evidence, I could say, well, here's what's going on. Porn, paying two people to have consensual sex and videotape it and put it on, and then market it for profit, here in Texas is illegal. And this group has violated that law hundreds and hours and hours, and tens of hundreds of hours of times. And so they were worried about that sort of exposure as well. So this drunk person at 3 a.m. driving home from Slick Willie's pool hall in a white Ford four-door sedan, trying to make fun of me with drunk tongue, slipping, gives himself away that, of course, because I don't know, how would he know that was the case? It's not anymore. I disposed of what I needed to and hung on to what I needed to. So if this person ever needs rescue or help, I've got the evidence and pictures to show the authorities if something bad should happen to her. Phone hacking is very real. Apple makes great products, and I own all Apple products. But they are not hack-proof, not by a long shot. It's not the software that Apple makes, it's the apps that you download on your phone. And it's the social media apps especially. And there are hackers that people can pay, and they can be in your phone in not very long. And then they will get your passwords, they will get your saved passwords and everything else, and it's done. And they'll get your phone's device ID and all that, and it's done. Even getting a new phone is hard at times because of the amount of work it takes to disentangle all of your accounts and all of your passwords and everything else, and have to write everything down manually and all the rest from a determined hacking person or a determined hacking group, which is what I was up against. Professionals who were paid. And a group, a coven of witches that was also involved. I don't exactly know how or why, but just through some pure hatred of this coven of witches, sending black magic my way, which is a very real thing. And these dark entities attach themselves to people, and they enter through things that we do that we know are not right for us. Drugs, addictions, without running into a very long list. Possession, attachment happens, and it's a very real thing, and it's more common than anybody in society realizes. Monitoring spirits, these are spirits that will follow you around and report back to other demonic entities, other people who call on the help of these monitoring spirits to report back what this person is saying, what the target is doing, what the target is even thinking. My spiritual gifts were really ramped up, I think, because of a result of this. Trauma will do that, but God's also very good, and He will equip you when you're called or when you are going through something that is so overwhelming that you need the extra wherewithal to be able to navigate the physical world, along with some incredible angelic help that quite literally would hide me to the point of invisibility, of people walking right by me that meant me harm but couldn't see me. It's hard to explain if you haven't been there, but if you believe that with God all things are possible, just know that literally all things are possible. And to His children, and everybody who's watching this is a child of God. Good, bad, doesn't make a difference. Those who are walking in righteousness, those who are doing the right thing, and God knows, God sees. It doesn't matter what the opinion of somebody else is. It doesn't matter what somebody on TV or anybody else says. God knows what you're doing, and He cares about it, and it matters, because what you do affects your heart, it affects your soul, it affects your spirit, and it affects your energy, and it affects everybody around you. And God wants the best for you. And when He sees one of His children going through a horrific situation, and that for me has lasted for years, He will do everything to guard you, to protect you, to watch over you, to guide you, and to hide you and keep you, Psalm 91, under the shadow of His wings. And He's still doing that for me. But there are still people out there that will harass me at 3 a.m, pointing their drunk finger at me after leaving the bar, being involved in a sex group and sex ring and all the other kind of horrific stuff, and project what was once true because I was trying to protect somebody onto me. But God will allow those things to happen in your life because He wants to show you what you're being protected from. And it's important. So, to wrap this, if your phone's acting funny, if you're using a ton of data, if your battery's draining fast, if there are apps that you don't recognize or you haven't used in more than a month on your phone, get rid of them and change all of your passwords. Don't save them in a password, in passwords if you have an iPhone, or I'm sure Google has a passwords app as well. Write them down and delete all those passwords. If there are people in your life that you know aren't good for you, or that you think, well, I'm going to help this person if I just keep going, and the evidence has been that you're not, and they're not changing boundaries, and either cut them off or don't allow them to suck off of you, because that's a spirit attached to them that is pulling energy from you, that drains you and that leaves you exhausted. And if this is for you, you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't help you and it doesn't help them. But to set boundaries does help you, because you can't pour from an empty cup. If your cup isn't full, and if you're constantly pouring out into others in any situation, this can even be work to a degree. If you're overwhelmed all the time and exhausted, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, halt. If those 4 things are occurring in your life in significant repetition, then stop and nourish yourself. Deal with that anger by finding out what's causing it, and sit with it and talk to yourself and pray about it. and then cut ties with anybody that's perpetuating that in your life, or anything that's perpetuating that in your life, or any social media that you're watching too much, or whatever the case may be. Get rid of it. Your peace is paramount. Lonely. If you are finding or seeking connection in bad relationships with bad people, or if you are trying to feel connected through using drugs, or feel connected through doing things that make you feel like you belong somehow, or are part of a group, or are going along to get along because it gives you some sort of feeling of connection with somebody or some bodies, and you know they're bad for you, and you know it's not the right thing for you to be doing, stop. Listen to yourself. When you honor yourself, and you honor that spirit in yourself that knows the way for you, you honor God. And when you do that, God will move heaven and earth to help you. And then tired. Tired's a big one. The world exhaust will keep you exhausted, keep you spinning in circles, keep you thinking that you have to do all of these things, have all this stuff, go here and there and post this and that and look like life is wonderful, even when it's not. And you know what? Life is not wonderful for all of us, at least some of the time, and some of us practically all the time. We just don't know it. If you're tired, rest. Rest until you're not tired. Cut out the things in your life that are not core to your family's functioning and to your ability to have and help your family function, and then give yourself the opportunity to rest until you're not tired. Your soul will restore, your mind, your heart, your joy will restore, and your ability to contribute to this world, and if that just be through going to work or not screaming at somebody on your morning drive to work or drive home or whatever the case may be, or not being pulled into bad decisions because you don't have the wherewithal because you're so exhausted, but you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you're then finding yourself doing things that you're not proud of. Rest. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. That's when the devil comes in. And whether you believe in the devil or not, that energy is very real. The demonic energy, spirits, are very real. I'm going to tell you that right now because I have had conversations with them literally. My ability to see beyond, my ability to hear beyond, to feel the clairs. I have those in spades. Those spiritual gifts have been given to me big time. To be able to hear other people's conversations that are not speaking from here to there, not here to there. When those conversations involve me and it's for my protection, God will open up that channel and let me hear those conversations. This is not fairy tale stuff, and it's not unique to psychologist stuff. This is very real. This is part of our birthright as humans anyways. We are attuned for this ability to communicate and to know and to see and to hear beyond the five senses. We're spiritual people. And as spirits, that's a whole different set of communication. And you don't lose that when you come into this world, but the world tells you that there's no way that can happen. Why? Because that stuff the systems can't control that sort of stuff. And so we're told that if you have these experiences, then you're crazy. Well, no, you're not. And if God needs to open up those channels for you because of what you're going through, he absolutely will. Because he will, again, move heaven and earth to protect his children. So stay cleaned up in your spirit. Do the right thing that you know to be right and true for you in your heart. Don't associate with people that are doing the wrong thing, because that energy affects you. Pray for them. Ask God to help them. If it's a dire situation and they absolutely need your help, go. Let that spirit of Jesus, that compassionate spirit that he had, that loving, No matter what, spirit guide you. Let your heart and your spirit and your soul guide you. Let God guide you. But don't do it to the point of overextending yourself to where you are drained, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And just know that there are demonic entities out there that attach to people and that cause them to do things that you could not imagine. And use your discernment. Use your discernment. Use your discernment. If something is off about someone, if something is off about a situation, the answer is no until you can determine that a yes response is going to help you and be beneficial for the other person as well. If you don't know, if you're being asked to go into a relationship or situation with somebody and you're not sure, then that answer is no until you're sure. Give yourself the time and space and grace to make good decisions. It matters. And God matters first. You matter second. Your family matters, wife, husband, children, on down the line from there. Because He's going to provide for you and give you everything you need. You are going to be the vessel and the container for that, to disseminate that. And your partner is going to help you do the same. And pray for other people. Because some people out there, and you would never know by looking at them, really do need it. And you would be surprised. And don't judge people. Because the homeless person you help today might be the person that's giving you a story and advice tomorrow. I hope that this has helped somebody who has gone through or has questions about or has had an experience with this sort of thing. But I also speak it because I'm tired of holding on to it. And I'm tired of this group doing what they did and laughing about it, making fun of homeless people and following homeless people and attacking them and hacking people's phones and just running rampant. And protect your kids from what they watch online. I'm just going to leave it there. Pray. God wants to hear from you. He loves you, and you absolutely matter. And He cares about your development here in this world, and so do I. If you have any questions about anything, or you just want somebody to listen, I have a ton of life experience. I'm a great listener, and I will just listen. And if you need advice, I'll help you there too. But I'm here for you. And I love you. And may God bless you. And thank you for listening.